What's up, resellers? I'm Rebecca and you're watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thanks for joining me today for a What's Sold on THREDUP video. So I have been selling on THREDUP now since March of 2020. I am a product of taking the fabulous Chriselle's course and also the pandemic and having to homeschool. So all of that melded into one, and I started taking all of my thrifted items and sending them to Poshmark. And so I am just kind of now starting to share with you sort of the weekly happenings of it, because for a while it took a while to get it going. And then once it got going, I was sharing tips and tricks and I wasn't really sharing what sold. Then I started sharing what sold, but more in like, what sold over $35, what sold for little money. So I have a lot of different ThreadUp videos. So go ahead and check them all out in the playlist if you're interested. There's a couple of announcements that I want to make. So recently ThreadUp did issue an email noting several changes, and I'm still working through all of them and what they mean to me and my business. So I'm not really going to comment on them other than go read the email. It's been posted about on Instagram. There's lots of information floating out there. You are your own business owner. And so what I say, what you say, what somebody else says doesn't matter. You need to decide for yourself what the information ThreadUp puts out means for you and your business. Now, as I figure things out for myself, I will share that with you as an example, as an idea, as inspiration for you, but I don't think anyone should just blanketly do what anyone else does. I think we all need to go inside our businesses and go inside ourselves and our lives and decide what's going to make the most sense. Many of us have taken the course, many of us haven't. There is going to be an update of Chriselle's course with all of the information in it. I think she added some new lessons. She may add some more, I'm not sure yet. And I know that she is going to have a version 3, and I will continue to recommend it because I felt like she put out very solid information in version 2, and I'm interested in finding out what version 3 is going to be. So I'm always going to be a proponent of her course, and I'm never going to share the information that's in her course. I'm only going to share what I do around it. And like I said, I've posted some things on Instagram if you're curious about any of my particular thoughts on things, but I'm not going to like rant and rave in this video. And if people do, that's fine. I've watched some of them. I am interested in hearing what other people think, but I'm not necessarily doing what other people are doing, and I'm still taking time to figure out what all of these ThreadUp changes mean for me and my business. So I haven't sent in any kits yet since they made the changes. However, the day that the changes came out, I did send in 3 boxes that day, and they were already dropped off, then the email came out, then they started tracking. So I have to email them. I've been super lazy and haven't done it yet to see what are the status of those boxes. And honestly, if it ends up being that they're not going to count towards the new changes, maybe those will be the start of my learning curve. And so I'll hold off on sending any new boxes until I see what goes on with those boxes. So you may not get any concrete information out of me for a little while, and I'm okay with that. Plus, we're approaching the holidays, and for me and my family, that's a busy time. First, you start off with Halloween, then it's my birthday, then it's Thanksgiving, then it's my son Gio's birthday, then it's Christmas, then it's New Year's, my mom's birthday, and my husband's birthday, all in that, basically by the first week of January, and then Gio hopefully goes to school. So I'm kind of coming up to the point where I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of crazy stuff because my life's about to get bonkers, and it's a time of year that I like to enjoy my family. So I may not be doing a lot of ThreadUp sending in right now. I may just be posting things as much as I can on Poshmark, what I can manage myself, and then kind of retool. I am still focusing on the inventory I have, and obviously things are still selling. So I'm going to keep sharing all of that with you. So I just wanted to kind of cover that up front real quick. Sorry, that was a little bit long-winded, but I've had other videos go live, but they were pre-recorded, and so this is the first video that I'm doing after the changes, and you may not even see this for a little bit of time because I try to get videos in the pipeline. They take a little time for me to get them out. So there's that. So people have asked me in the last video that I did for what sold, like the context of things. So let's start there. so that we know what's going on. So I'm so close, you guys, to $10,000 in earnings. So as you can see here, I'm at $9,812 in earnings. I did have about like 100 or so from using ThreadUp a long time ago before my most recent stint with it. So let's just go with it. I've sold 640 items. Again, a short amount of those or small amount of those were from before. Now, right now it shows that I have 953 items selling, but that just went down because this morning super early I reclaimed a lot because a lot came due. I'm not just reclaiming everything or anything like that. I'm reclaiming when it's time to reclaim things, and I'm leaving things for their normal selling period. I'm not just yanking everything off of ThreadUp. I'm not making any crazy, rash moves. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing with the things that are already there because those shouldn't be affected. I want to try to get as many sales as I can out of that. And then anything that's new going forward, I'm just taking my time with and kind of seeing what needs to be done. So this was well over 1,000 items selling for quite some time. So people asked me on the last video, how many boxes do I send in a week? How many items do I have live? How much money do I usually make? This kind of stuff, because they saw I had so many sales in one week and they were like, how do you do that? So it definitely fluctuates from week to week, but I felt like last week was a pretty solid week and a pretty normal week. I have noticed in the last few weeks, sales go down a little bit. One, like the number of sales go down a little bit. One, because I think that it just can be a hard time right now for people to be buying certain stuff. Maybe they're focused on buying gifts and they're not necessarily buying things for themselves, or, they're having trouble in the economy right now or whatever. So it could be a lot of different things. But I have also been dropping my prices more aggressively because I have a lot of inventory now and more coming in. And so I don't want to get so backed up if I'm not sending as much in, or I'm sending things in a more strategic way. I kind of want things to sell right now. So I have been dropping my prices a little bit more aggressively. So I have 98 total kits, and 44,000 in potential earnings, which, is what it is. So basically in March, after I took Rochelle's course, I started sending in boxes, and I've sent in boxes since March, basically 2 to 4 boxes of items per week, every single week. So when I tell you I've been consistent, I have been consistent. I mean, I've taken a week or two here off, where some weeks were 5 and some weeks were 3, but pretty much 2 to 4 boxes of inventory were going to ThreadUp from March till now every single week. And that's how I was able to build up, I think at the most I had 1,100 items active on ThreadUp. And so like anything, like with Poshmark, when you're building your Poshmark closet, ThreadUp is the same thing. Like, it takes time to build up daily sales. It takes time to build up an inventory that warrants daily sales. And when items are being reclaimed and then submitted and reclaimed and submitted, it's a kind of like a circulation. So I usually end up anywhere between $1,000 and $2,000 a month in sales, or payouts. And I'm sharing with you what sold within a week's time frame, the good and the bad and the ugly. I'm going to share with you all of it. So hopefully that gives you a little bit more context. The other one, I just kind of jumped into my sales and then I got a lot of questions, which was fine. I totally am happy to share. I just didn't think of it. So if you have more questions and want to know more things, let me know. So what we're going to do is go over sales from October 31st to November 6th. I'm like a week behind because today's the 11th, but whatever. I'm just going to show you the email so you'll see the item and the payout. Let me get my cursor where it needs to be. Okay. So these are Luxe leggings. I don't know this brand. It just is what it is. They came in a pre-owned bulk lot that I purchased, and I got a payout of $4.08. So that was a small profit for me, and that was fine. I usually, my cost of goods on average is about $3, $2.50 to $3. I do pay up for some things, of course. Bowden skirt, size 2. This was a payout of $12, which is a little low for me for what I'd like for Bowden, but I'm okay with it. White House Black Market top, $8. So, for White House Black Market, I actually don't mind selling that on Poshmark. It's, kind of a basic bread and butter, but I'm usually able to do pretty good with it and get a decent price point for it. That wasn't always the case, but I feel like more recently I've done better with White House Black Markets. Honestly, I don't think that all items for White House Black Market are a good fit for ThreadUp based on the payout structure, and I'm going off of the old payout system and everything. I haven't ventured into knowing what the new system will be, but likely White House Black Market will not be a brand that I send in probably. J. Jill has been a really great staple brand for me on ThreadUp. I've sold a lot of it. I've sold it for really good payouts and I've sold it for okay payouts. All of them profitable, and it's just been a really steady seller for me. So I still feel like this is a brand that I really want to find a way to make work on ThreadUp. Because I'm not really that interested in putting it in my Poshmark closet. There's just some basic brands that I'm going to really try to get away from on Poshmark, and this I feel like is one of them. So I got a payout of $17.28 on these dress pants. Next up is a Madewell skirt, payout of $15. This was like an older The Blue tag, so I had this up on Poshmark and it hadn't sold, so I'm fine to get $15 for a Madewell skirt. That was okay with me. Michael Kors, size 4, $20.52 for these cargo pants. I thought that was great. I did not have those, previously on any other platform, so that was a good flip for me. Banana Republic pullover sweater, size extra small, $11.14. It's a little low, but again, I've told you my cost of goods on most of these items is $2.50 to $3. So if I'm getting a payout in the $10 to $12 range, it's 3 and 4 times my money. I'm okay with that. Obviously, I'd like more, but I'm okay with that. Westport 1962, size extra large. It was a pretty top, but it came to me, it was included with a bulk purchase, and so I made 52 cents basically profit on that because it cost me $3. Charter Club cashmere pullover sweater. So I love cashmere. I want to have lots of cashmere in my Poshmark closet. I'm just pretty much obsessed with it. I love it. So for me, that's definitely something. If it's anything cashmere, I pretty much want to put it in my Poshmark closet. And Charter Club is one of those brands where certain items can still do really well. I think it's just like a Macy's house brand, if I'm not mistaken. So, $23 on this is a little low, but based on the payout structure, it is what it is. I think I probably could have gotten slightly more for it, but not too much more for it on Poshmark, just again, because of the brand. Okay, so for those that have watched the video that I did on my unboxing from a bulk purchase of handbags from Chow Clothing, you will know that I was very unhappy with it. I have sold a handful of the bags that I've sent into ThreadUp, so I am happy that some items are selling, but I'm nowhere near even recouping my investment. So I appreciate the support of the people that have watched that video, so at least I can make some money on that video, the ads from it, and maybe that will eventually help pay for the stupid box that I bought, because actually selling the purses in that box is barely going to cover half of the box. So this is one of them. It's a Bagolini, which is a good, bag brand, and it was $23.52 for that. So I thought that was pretty good. These pants I had for a while, Zara basic dress pants. I'm pretty sure they were wool, $13.92 payout. This was actually pretty good. A lot of the Zara items that I've sent to Poshmark I've pretty much regretted because the payout was so low. So that is not a brand that I want to ever really send into ThreadUp at all, unless there's just some reason why I can't get rid of it any other way. And I do enjoy selling Zara on Poshmark. So I'm happy to put that, in the future in my Poshmark closet. But $13.92 is okay with me. This was, oh my God, this dress is so ugly. Calvin Klein, size 14. I don't know if I showed this in a what I'm sending video or not, but I got a payout of $38.88 on it, and I really hope that dress makes someone happy, and I hope they wear it somewhere awesome and they have a really great day in it, but I think that dress is so ugly. Ralph Lauren short sleeve t-shirt. It's just a t-shirt. They put it as medium youth. I don't know if it was actually medium youth, but anyway, I only got $3 for it. It is what it is. I only paid $3 for it. That's fine. Like, random stuff like that I don't even want to be dealing with in my Poshmark closet anymore if I can help it. You know, I don't want items to go to waste. I don't want to donate perfectly good items, so then I will be sending them to ThreadUp. But when I order my pre-owned bulk, you know, mystery boxes and lots and things like that, I just want to like sift out the best stuff and put that in my Poshmark closet from now on, and then, you know, send certain things to ThreadUp that I know will do okay, and just not put a lot of things in my Poshmark closet unless I'm passionate about it or I think it's going to do well, because I think that's what got me into trouble before. And this isn't a Poshmark video, it's a ThreadUp video, so maybe later I'll do a Poshmark video about, you know, how I'm going to be changing things, but I'm just not putting every random thing in my Poshmark closet. Anyway, this pashmina scarf, it's not like, you know, pure anything, it's not cashmere or anything like that. $2.70, so that's fine. I had that listed for a while on Poshmark, it didn't sell. White House Black Market dress pants, $10. I'm okay with that. I really am on a downward spiral of like hating pants, right? Like I feel like none of my pants are selling, or they're not selling for good money. So I'm really down on pants right now. Michael Kors casual skirt, payout $17.28. Michael Kors does just fine on ThreadUp. Again, not knowing how it's going to work with the changes going forward on pricing and things like that, I may change my mind on it. But up till this point, I have done well with sending Michael Kors to ThreadUp. Okay, so I don't know, is this the first one of these jackets or not? I can't remember. But I got a bunch of these jackets, moto jackets. They're like a canvas, you know, or like they're fabric. They're not like, you know, leather or anything. From swap.com, and I intended to list them as a multiple quantity listing on Poshmark. This was a while ago, and then I decided, no, I don't have time for that. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm just going to send them all to ThreadUp. And so I packed them all in a box and I sent them to ThreadUp, and like 8 of them have already sold. They've all sold for about 23 something dollars, but I think I only paid maybe $10 for them. I can't remember. No more than like 15. So the point is that it was intended to be a multiple quantity listing that I was going to sell myself, but it didn't work out that way, and I sent them all to ThreadUp, and basically all of them have sold. They may not have all sold for an amazing profit, but they all sold with me out having to do the work, and they all sold for a profit, and they're all selling. So I feel like that was a really interesting random roundabout way of flipping these items, because again, it wasn't my intention to send them to ThreadUp, but it just worked out that way, and then they all ended up selling. Now Liverpool, as far as I know, is a Stitch Fix brand, and I do see a lot of Stitch Fix items on swap.com, though I'm not sure if this was just this jacket that worked out really well, or if all Stitch Fix items that I could get for cheap would flip well on ThreadUp. I don't know. And I've been really hesitant to pull the trigger on another situation like this where I like find another Stitch Fix brand on swap.com, buy a bunch of them, and then send it to ThreadUp, because I don't know if I can repeat the same success or not. So I don't really want to take that risk right now, not knowing how things are going to go. Next up is Michael Kors dress pants. These are size 22, and this one is like because I probably could have gotten more for these on Poshmark, perhaps, if they sold, but the problem is that I don't know if they would sell. I'd have to do the work, and right now I don't want to do that. So $10, you know, I paid 3, I got 10, my profit is 7, like that's okay. So this is fine. And again, it's pants, and I'm just over it. Banana Republic short sleeve top, payout of $10. Like, okay, I'll take $10 on this top, no problem. Like, I didn't have to do the work. That is fine with me. I think that's all of them, actually, guys. This one went really quickly. So yeah, I mean, I probably will have more to say on the ThreadUp changes going forward, but I just don't have anything to say yet because I have to really see how it's going to affect my business and what changes I'm going to make. Right now, I'm kind of in a holding pattern on sending new things off because I really want to see what those 3 boxes are going to do that I sent the day of the changes. I'm going to kind of use those as my experiment first. While everything else is going on, I'm going to focus on, you know, reclaiming what needs to be reclaimed at the time. I'm not pulling anything early or crazy. I'm just going to reclaim it when it's time. And then normally I would have just sent them all back in but I'm not going to do that this time. So now I've got to really go through and be like, what am I putting on Poshmark? What am I going to flip locally? What does make sense to go sending back to ThreadUp? I'm going to be reviewing the payout estimator, reviewing what the initial prices are that they are setting for things. And that's kind of where I'm going to, have to live in, is just in a research mode for right now until I can retool what makes the best sense. So, if you're interested, I do still think that my ThreadUp tracker is still viable. Obviously, you may not have as much to track now, but everything, as far as I'm aware, is still operating the same way as far as my tracker goes. So if you're interested in that, there's a link down below to my Etsy shop where you can get my ThreadUp spreadsheet, and that's how I track everything, and it kind of makes it pretty simple. I only spend about 15 minutes a day looking at my spreadsheet, doing my reclaims that it tells me to do, and doing my price drops that it tells me to do. Everything's in there, and it keeps everything pretty easy. I do have a video on that as well if you want to check that out too, to help you manage all of that. But other than that, I'm just going to kind of keep doing what I'm doing and figure out the new stuff. And that's all I can hope for you guys too. I wish you a lot of success with it, whatever you choose. And I hope you'll subscribe to the channel so we can hang out again. Leave me a comment down below and like this video on your way out. Thanks. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.